These women will be lonely their whole lives according to their zodiac sign. There are women whose fate seems to deliberately keep them apart from the crowd. They are beautiful, strong, confident, and at the same time doomed to loneliness that cannot be cured by time, success, or even the love of others. This is not a coincidence or punishment, but a deep program of the universe laid down at the moment of their birth. Their hearts seem to be guarded by an invisible force that does not allow anyone to get too close. They can laugh among people, but in their souls, they are always accompanied by silence. Today, I will reveal the signs of the zodiac for which loneliness is not a shadow, but a path. A path to strength, awareness, and fateful choices that make them different. Do not look for tragedy in this. Look for the truth that you may have felt inside yourself for a long time. Before we move on to analyzing each sign, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is where you will hear the truth that most are afraid to say. Stay tuned. Perhaps you are one of these women. The first sign is Aries. The Aries woman is shaped by an inner tension that does not ask for permission to be visible. Her loneliness does not arise by chance. It grows out of a character that does not accept compromises and does not tolerate weakness around her. As she moves through life, it is important for her not to have anyone around who will slow her down or demand that she lower her standards. She sees no point in relationships where she has to explain the obvious or prove her worth. Her decisions are sharp and leave no room for ambiguity. Where others gather attention, she gathers control over her own reactions and actions. Her loneliness is shaped by consistency. She knows how to cut off anything that violates her internal logic. She does not fill the void with strangers and does not allow the expectations of others to influence the pace of her development. Every step she takes is subordinated to the need to preserve her own strength. Because of this, there is rarely anyone left around her who can withstand her straightforwardness. She does not hide her emotions and does not use disguised forms of communication. Her words are precise, and her actions are predictably consistent. For many, her style seems too harsh, but it is precisely because of this that she does not allow herself to dissolve into the desires of others. For an Aries woman, loneliness is a choice that becomes a basic strategy. She does not seek approval and does not rely on outside support. In a world where people often form relationships for convenience, she moves through direct confrontation with reality. She is not afraid to be left without company because she knows that any partnership only makes sense if it does not hinder growth. She is capable of changing direction several times without looking back at those who could not keep up with her pace. Such a woman does not hold anyone back artificially. She lets go of those who do not meet her requirements, even if it causes disappointment. Her straightforwardness does not allow for half measures in relationships. If she sees indecision or instability, she does not waste time on explanations. An Aries woman builds her life so that her inner structure remains intact. Her loneliness is not fatigue from people, but a way to remain at the center of her own power. When others try to adapt to their environment, she adapts the environment to herself. This creates a distance that cannot be reduced. People who crave predictability cannot withstand her intensity. She expects honesty, immediate responses, and a willingness to speak directly. Not everyone is capable of working with such a focused character. Therefore, her path is naturally cleared of random companions. Her loneliness is not a burden, but a working tool that allows her to focus on what is important. An Aries woman cannot stand repetitive scenarios. She knows how to end anything that loses its meaning. She does not need long explanations, and she does not seek emotional compensation. She rejects anything that creates dependence or reduces the intensity of her inner movement. Her loneliness is a space in which she builds her own order. Even when she allows someone to enter her life, she does not change the foundation of her principles. And that is why someone who tries to adapt her to themselves rarely stays with her. There is a trait in her character that does not allow her to build relationships for the sake of ordinary reciprocity. She chooses only what suits her pace and does not accept compromises that could diminish her strength. Her loneliness is not a punishment, but a structure in which she preserves her freedom, direction, and control over every stage of her own path. Her inner rhythm does not allow for chaotic relationships. She understands that stability does not come from the desire to be with someone, but from the willingness not to betray her own rules. People around her often expect softness, but instead they get demandingness. It is this demandingness that sets her apart from most people. She does not waste her attention on temporary relationships and does not seek temporary emotional support. Her loneliness is not a lack of opportunities, but a precision of choice. When she observes her path, she sees no need to change her strategy. She accepts the fact that true compatibility is rare. Her character is not suited to compromising relationships, so she does not waste time on things that have no future. Her loneliness is an extension of her strength, a confirmation that she is capable of living without support, while maintaining clarity of decision and consistency of action. She does not need external validation. She moves as if each step determines her inner order. Her loneliness is a form of discipline that keeps her focused. She does not compare herself to others and does not accept the expectations of others as a benchmark. Her path is based on high demands on herself and those who want to be around her. It is this demandingness that determines why she goes through life without companions whom she needs to lead or drag along. She does not allow weak structures in her own space, so her loneliness becomes part of her strength, not the result of someone's departure. She perceives loneliness as a working space in which she retains control over her own decisions and does not allow weak characters to influence her. Her distance is not coldness, but a way to maintain inner balance. The second sign is Sagittarius. The Sagittarius woman is not made for the permanence that society considers the norm. Her loneliness does not begin with the absence of people, but with the inability to find those who are able to keep up with her pace. She does not tolerate boundaries and does not accept the emotional constraints dictated by others. Her nature is mobile, her thinking is free, and her heart does not recognize dependence. She strives for new experiences, for change, for a depth that most people avoid. Her loneliness is a consequence of her breadth, which is difficult to maintain for those who do not have their own direction. She does not allow herself to be an appendage to someone else and does not believe in soulmates because she understands that a person is either whole or weak. Her path is a series of attempts to find an equal partner in understanding and action, but where others stop, she is just getting started. Her energy is unpredictable, and with her, every day can change the rules. She does not create bonds for the sake of peace, because peace for her is a form of stagnation. Her loneliness is a space for exploration in which she hones her independence. She is not afraid of silence and is not tired of the absence of presence. Her loneliness lives alongside freedom, not emptiness. Sagittarius cannot be in a relationship where she has to limit her initiative. She needs movement, new horizons, a sense of development. Where others seek stability, she seeks truth. If the person next to her does not grow, she moves away without reproach or explanation. This is not coldness. It is a natural reaction to stagnation. Her loneliness is not a problem. It is a consequence of the impossibility of remaining among those who do not know how to live intensely. A Sagittarius woman is not afraid to change her environment, does not cling to the familiar, and does not hide her directness. She does not play social roles, which is why many find her too complicated. She does not seek support in the crowd because she believes only in her own logic. Her loneliness arises when there is too much superficiality around her. She can see the difference between depth and the appearance of depth. It is this ability that forces her to leave an environment that lives on illusions. She does not resent the world. Her loneliness is not a protest, but the result of inner maturity. She understands that human relationships are often built on convenience rather than true closeness. She is not interested in meaningless conversations and cannot stand empty communication. Her topics are always deeper than her interlocutor expects, and her thoughts are always ahead of the moment. That is why those who seek simple emotions rarely stay with her. Her strength lies in her directness. She does not hide her intentions or create artificial relationships. If she loves, it is without calculation. If she leaves, it is without hesitation. This approach makes her uncomfortable for those who are not ready for honesty. Her loneliness often begins where the patience of others ends. She will not change herself to keep someone. For her, authenticity is more important than presence. Sagittarius feels complete even when alone. She can experience strong emotions without the need for witnesses. Her internal coordinate system does not need external confirmation. She does not expect anyone to give her a sense of meaning. Her meaning lies in action, in searching, in moving forward. Loneliness does not scare her because she does not feel a sense of loss in it. On the contrary, in loneliness, she hears her own logic, restores her energy, and prepares for new challenges. She can smile even when there is emptiness around her, because emptiness for her is not absence, but space for creation. Her energy needs free movement, and any restriction seems to her a betrayal of her own nature. People around her often do not understand this strength and perceive her distance as indifference. But there is no indifference in her. There is only a conscious refusal to waste herself on things that have no depth. Her loneliness does not look dramatic. She does not suffer. She simply cannot find those who are able to move at the same pace as her. She does not pretend to be close, does not simulate trust, does not say what she does not feel. This makes her dangerous to people who are used to soft forms. Her directness is sharp, her independence is unquestionable, and it is this combination of strength and frankness that repels those who are not ready for true depth. A Sagittarius woman is capable of being alone not because of pride, but because of a clear understanding of her own boundaries. She does not allow them to be violated, even if it means paying for it with loneliness. She does not ask, does not prove, does not convince. Her calmness is based on confidence in her own righteousness. Her loneliness is a form of control over her emotions, a way of not dissolving into the chaotic intentions of others. When she looks at the world, she sees it without embellishment and accepts this fact without disappointment. Her strength lies in her ability to remain herself, even when no one is around. And that is why her loneliness is not a weakness, but a consequence of strength that not everyone can withstand. The third sign is Aquarius. An Aquarius woman always stands aside, even when she seems to be the center of attention. Her loneliness is not external. It is an internal state that she accepts as natural. She does not need constant contact because she thinks deeper than most people around her. Her mind is faster, her associations are more complex, and her perception is broader. Where others see simple things, she notices structures, interrelationships, causes, and consequences. That is why it is difficult to be around her. People feel her distance, but do not understand that she is not cold. She just thinks differently. She does not isolate herself, she only protects her own inner space from noise that destroys concentration. Her loneliness is not tragic because it is built on respect for silence. Aquarius does not know how to be around those who simplify the complex and turn the profound into the superficial. She does not seek approval. It is important for her to remain in harmony with her own thinking. Her logic often seems too straightforward, even harsh, but it is precisely this that allows her to maintain balance. She is not attracted to superficial emotionality. She values content, not form. Because of this, she quickly sees through falsehood and does not waste time on those who live in illusions. Her loneliness is not an escape, but a rejection of chaos. An Aquarius woman can be among people and at the same time remain separate. Her presence is felt, but she does not seem to fully belong to the space she is in. This is not pride, but the realization that depth does not require constant demonstration. She does not share her thoughts easily because she knows that most people are unable to understand the logic that guides her. That is why her silence sometimes seems like alienation. In reality, it is a form of self-defense. Her loneliness is not isolation, but an attempt to preserve the purity of her thinking. She does not seek romance in the usual sense. Intellectual compatibility and a shared ability to see the bigger picture are more important to her. She does not forgive primitiveness and does not put up with narrow-mindedness. Her partners often cannot withstand this level of demand. She does not tolerate dependence and does not adapt to other people's emotional fluctuations. She understands that any compromise with the truth leads to internal chaos, and chaos is her main enemy. That is why she often remains alone, not because of a lack of love, but because of the impossibility of settling for less than authenticity. Her inner world is a complex system built on ideas, observations, and conclusions. She does not divide people into close and distant. For her, there are those with whom she can talk and those with whom she should not. Her loneliness becomes a filter that does not allow unnecessary sounds and thoughts into her space. She does not like to explain herself because she believes that true understanding does not require explanations, and when she sees that she is not understood, she simply walks away, without anger, without offense, without drama. The Aquarius woman values distance as an element of respect. She does not impose herself and does not allow others to impose themselves on her. Her independence is not an act, but a necessity, without which she loses herself. Loneliness allows her to refocus, structure her thoughts, and break down complex issues into understandable parts. Where others seek emotional warmth, she seeks meaning. Her coldness is not indifference, but a way to avoid emotional distortions. Her world is built on precision, and she does not allow feelings to destroy the system in which everything has a logical place. She does not believe in vows, promises, or loud confessions. For her, truth is manifested in stability, in deeds, in consistency. That is why she does not build relationships that do not stand the test of time. Her loneliness is the result of filtering. She does not shut herself off. She simply sifts through. Over the years, this process has become even more precise. There are very few people left in her life, but those who remain are truly important. Her peace of mind does not depend on the presence of someone else. She does not feel empty because her world is filled with ideas. She thinks about the future and sees things that others do not even notice. Her mind creates its own reality, and not everyone has access to it. That is why many mistakenly consider her unapproachable or indifferent. But she does not isolate herself. She just has a broader horizon. Her loneliness is the price she pays for freedom of thought. An Aquarius woman does not cling to the familiar. She easily changes her environment if she feels that it limits her. She needs air, space, and the opportunity to think without pressure. In relationships, she does not tolerate control. She does not allow manipulation and does not recognize dependence. Her loneliness arises when others try to change her nature. She does not resist. She simply walks away, leaving behind a silence in which all attempts at influence disappear. For her, loneliness is not a lack of love, but a form of preserving integrity. She does not divide herself into parts, does not compromise her principles for the sake of closeness. Her loneliness is pure, orderly, devoid of drama. She does not wait for others to understand her. She lives in such a way that she does not need explanations. And that is why her calmness seems alien, too deep, too stable, too perfect. Her loneliness is not a shadow from the past, but the choice of a person who values intelligence and freedom more than the usual idea of happiness. The fourth sign is Capricorn. A Capricorn woman is not afraid of loneliness. She accepts it as part of a path where everything must be structured, balanced, and under control. Her world is built on principles, and each principle has a weight that she does not betray. She does not look for easy ways out, does not give in to impulses, and does not allow herself to depend on the moods of others. Her loneliness is a consequence of the exactingness that guides her in everything. She is incapable of being around those who live superficially. Her depth is frightening because there is no spontaneity in her, but there is unyielding logic and strength. She cannot tolerate chaos in relationships because she understands that any disorder in her feelings will destroy her inner balance. Her loneliness is not about pain, but about control. Capricorn does not allow those who lower her quality of life into her circle. She can remain silent when others shout and act when others doubt. She does not need approval because her benchmark is her own results. That is why it is difficult for those who seek ease to be around her. Her character demands stability, consistency, and precision in words and deeds. And the world around her is often built on the opposite, on compromises, quick decisions, and insincere emotions. She does not fit into this environment, so her loneliness is not a consequence of failure, but an indicator of quality. A Capricorn woman does not allow herself chaotic feelings. She chooses logic even where others give in to passion. This is not coldness. It is the ability to see the consequences before they happen. She understands that emotions pass, but consequences remain. That is why there are no random people in her life. And that is why her loneliness seems deeper than it really is. She simply does not let anyone in who has not passed her internal test of reliability. She knows how to be alone and remain composed. She does not shut herself away, but clearly separates the private from the external. Her loneliness is not a rejection of the world, but a way to protect herself from its chaos. She does not seek to dissolve herself in love, because she knows that true intimacy should not deprive her of her autonomy. If someone tries to take control of her decisions, she distances herself. This is not escape, it is discipline. She does not allow others to destroy what she has built over the years, her confidence, peace of mind, and inner stability. A Capricorn woman does not believe in romantic coincidences. For her, everything has logic. Even feelings must have a basis. She does not accept words without actions, and does not trust those who quickly swear allegiance. She sees that true reliability is tested not by words, but by behavior in small things. And when this behavior does not meet her standards, she does not argue, she just leaves. Her loneliness does not hurt her in such moments because she is used to not depending on external factors. She does not need support to survive. Her resilience was formed from disappointments, and now she perceives them as training. Her inner discipline does not allow weakness. She may feel sad, but she does not allow this sadness to control her decisions. She understands that emotional resilience is not indifference, but a form of strength. Her loneliness is a laboratory in which she creates strategies for the future. She thinks ahead, sees patterns and regularities, so she does not need the constant presence of someone who will distract her. She is not afraid of silence, because it is in silence that she hears herself. And that is why not everyone is able to stay with her for long. Not because of a lack of love, but because of an excess of depth that makes others feel their own superficiality. A Capricorn woman does not show her feelings. Her love is calm, practical, and restrained. She does not create drama, does not provoke, and does not need constant reassurance. Her devotion is in stability. Her tenderness is in action, not words. But it is precisely because of this restraint that she is often misunderstood. People expect emotional reactions, but instead they see control and distance. And so she remains alone, not because she wants to, but because she cannot find her equal. She does not call on the past or seek lost connections. Her loneliness is not a temporary state, but a natural form of existence. She does not depend on approval and does not seek to share responsibility. She perceives life as a system where everyone must bear their own weight. Her loneliness disciplines, concentrates, and keeps her focused. She does not lose herself when no one is around, because her presence is always enough. Capricorn never lives by chance encounters. Everything that appears in her life is tested by time and action. She does not allow other people's emotions to disturb her inner rhythm. Her loneliness is a boundary that she has consciously built to protect her own peace of mind. She can be close, but not submissive. She can love, but without losing control. She can be silent, but there is always meaning in that silence. And even if her path seems cold, in reality, it is the path of a person who has understood the main thing. Loneliness is not a punishment, but a condition under which she retains her strength, dignity, and absolute balance.